that by being eco-friendly, it could save you a ton of money, okay? And it's also good for the environment and everything. Well, today I got 11 ways of doing that, okay? The first one is the Steripen here, and this thing is so amazing, and I actually learned about this a very long time ago when I was hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. I only did the state of Oregon section. And I used the Sawyer one, where you get to squeeze and push it through this water filter. It was such a pain in the ass. And I met this couple that used this, and they're like, like, no work. And I was jealous and even made fun of me. Like, oh, that's iron grip, right? Like, yeah. So then I went and bought one and been using it ever since. I've used this thing through many countries and many backpacking, and it's just so amazing. It pays for itself if you just use it a few times, because you don't have to buy water. And obviously the plastic is no bueno for everything. And it's actually not bad. It's not good to drink too sometimes because of BPH poisoning. It prevents plastic waste, and there's just a lot of issues with it. So it's just so amazing. That's the first way. Next up is to bring a collapsible travel mug. Now I have a lot of these normal ones, but they actually have one where you collapse it, and if you're backpacking, it saves a ton of space. And I actually had a collapsible water filter when I was in Europe, and it was like so tiny, and you could kind of bring it. But what's kind of cool about that is, I'll put the link to this post here, but there's actually places where they'll actually give you a discount on coffee, or teas and stuff like that if you bring your own coffee. And they're really not very good for the environment. You may not know this, but a lot of the paper coffee cups, they actually have plastic in them to make them kind of waterproof. And they're pretty much impossible to recycle. And they just end up in landfills and stuff like that. And these plastic kind of break down. They kind of end up in waters and oceans and stuff like that. More bad news is those coffee mugs, if they go into the recycle bin, they can kind of contaminate the whole batch, like cardboard, and they just have to throw the whole thing out. So it's really a big bummer. Next up is solid shampoos and soap bars. And one really cool benefit of these solid bars for shampoo is they don't really leak, okay? And you might be wondering, well, how is that good for the environment? Well, shampoos are mostly water, and you're kind of paying for the carbon emissions to kind of move that shit around. And most plastic bottles have a high plastic product ratio. And so a bar of shampoo has zero waste packaging. And, you can find them, shampoo bars and stuff like that. All right, next up, and this is a really hard one for me to do because I think it's free. I'm like, it's free. Is hotel, toiletries, like the plastic thing they give away for free for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. It's not a bad idea to consider a water bladder, something like this when you're traveling, because it holds so much water. You don't have to worry about finding water. It's nice when you're on buses and stuff like that. And if you run out, you could, they can be expensive. And tourist traps. And another benefit is a lot of modern cities and airports have these, there's stations where you can fill up these bladders, and there's even an app where they can show you exactly where to go. And if there's a long line, you have a bunch of water bottles, it takes forever, right? But you can be in and out quickly with a bladder. And it's just so cool, because also, what I like about it, though, is it fits nicely on your back, so it's centered, so it's good for your back muscles. It won't leave the back strain, stuff like that, if you're moving. This is another thing which I just heard about, and I've never done this before, but they actually have eco-friendly toothpaste tablets. And most toothpaste tubes, I didn't know this earlier, they're nearly impossible to recycle. And these toothpaste tablets, they have zero waste. And what's also kind of cool about it is they're solid, don't count towards your liquid limit at airports. And there's no risk of exploding in your backpack. I mean, you still have to brush it, but just like I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like that, toothpaste tablets. And but you still have to brush. Okay. Oh, they don't have preservatives. Okay. And before I forget, if you got something from this video, please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. It helps me. There's beeswax wraps for snacks and picnics, and this is another interesting idea. I don't really do, but you know, what I do is I usually have plastic bags and I'll reuse them. You know, that kind of helps me. But they kind of look like this, and you can wrap foods in them, stuff like that, for trips and stuff like that. Another thing is the laundry bags. It may seem like a very small thing, but the thin plastic bags tucked in hotel closets, they're actually a big problem. They're kind of like designed for single use. You can't recycle them, and they break down very quickly into microplastics, and it's not the best for hygiene. So, you know, what's really kind of cool is they have these packing cubes for backpacks and suitcases, and for backpacks to help you out, and I did this with the Pacific Crest Trail, is they have these dry sacks, and they kind of look like this. That can kind of help you organize your stuff. Another thing which is really kind of cool is these mesh bags, because you can see through them to help you organize. When I was in Europe, I just used plastic shopping bags. But the problem with it is you'll put something someplace and you're like, what the hell? So you have to it's hard to find crap in that, you know. With the see-through bags, there might be help you organize things too. You know, but they all work, something like that. And next up is the portable zero-waste cutlery kits. And yeah, utensils come in handy. You know, like fork, knife, spoon, straws, and it's better than the single plastic utensils. And they kind of come in handy if you need one. What I did to save money when I was in Europe, I went all over Europe, 3 months, just tripping around Europe, the trains and stuff, and it's really pretty cheap. The trains, I think I spent like $1,000, and I can go anywhere I want on the train for 3 months. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It just, you know, I stayed at a hostel, so it was it wasn't too bad. Just I think the most expensive part was the flight to get out there and everything. But to save a lot of money, though, for me, is I went to go to a grocery store and pick up food, and you know, there's street food, stuff like that. So these utensils definitely can come in handy. And some places will actually charge a fee to use their utensils. Okay, so if you bring one, you save money, and you know, it helps you because what was I going to say? You clean it yourself. You know it's clean, and you always have one, so you don't have to look for it, which is also nice to have. Yeah. Next up, and this seems maybe strange too, is these universal adapters right here. You know, I needed one when I was going through Southeast Asia, and they look like that. It can help you. A single universal adapter replaces the need for a lot of them. So that removes that whole the manufacturing and plastic packaging and the whole shipment of that stuff too. So there's also fewer trips to the store, and it can be better for your device's battery. Okay. This is really good to have. And the last one I'm going to talk about is the Merino wool, which is a really, really cool thing, especially if you're backpacking, because it actually helps you fight odor naturally. They kind of look like these right here. And so you don't have to wash them as much, because that could be kind of a hassle when you're traveling. And a polyester shirt is basically an immortal plastic. They can sit in a landfill for ever. So the wool is natural fiber that brings nutrients back into the soil. It's zero plastic, so it's pretty amazing. And if you want to know more ways on how to save money, I made a whole video that goes over a ton of more ways. Some of them are really unique. Some of the ways that you won't even know about. And I'll put the video up here as well as down in the description. And I'll put the post to here because there's a whole bunch of resources in here, like how to find those coffee places and apps. I'll put it down in the first comment in the description as well to help you. So I hope this post might have been at least a little bit useful or educational. I don't know, something. Have a wonderful day, though. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.